What is up, everybody? Welcome to the UFC 297 Super Preview. 297. You know what that means? We are close to 3. We had some big news for 300 this week. The biggest, I think, being Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje for the BMF title. Oh my goodness, just look at that. Oh my goodness. What
It
a
doesn't
banger.
seem real, even seeing the picture.
What a banger. Oh my goodness. You know,
How many fights are there? If you could just hand pick any fights, how many are there out there? Any two fighters, any weight class that you would say are more entertaining than these two guys right here? This shit was nuts,
I'm not
bro.
gonna lie to you. I said there was only a few guys they could have left for 300. I wouldn't be opposed to this being the main event.
Worst case scenario, no one's mad at that, bro. Max and Justin Gaethje, especially Max. Max has been a guy that if there's somebody that deserves to headline UFC 300, it is Max Holloway because he has been there this whole goddamn decade and before that, and he's still in his prime. And he's moving up a weight class to take on the BMF. This gives me chills.
Dana's just like you know how when you're like a kid and you're like on like NBA 2K, you're just like create a player, create a team. That's all Dana's doing with this card, just creating. It's really gonna. It's insane. It's insane. He really just gets to pick what he wants, pick who fights. It's insane. We also got Jim Miller and Bobby Green on there. We were waiting on the Jim Miller news. We finally get it.
He had to go get a dub last week first.
Yep.
He looked so good.
And he UFC 100, 200, and 300.
That is some legend shit right there. I feel like a broken record. I've said this so many times, but old men are not very common in this sport because men die young because this is a game for killers. And Jim Miller is still a killer. I feel disrespected forever calling freaking Juliana Miller Killer Miller because Jim Miller is the real Killer Miller. This dude went out there and got another W on the fight night last weekend. And then not 2 days later, he already has his next fight lined up. You know he went to the UFC headquarters. He said, yeah, I'll boost up this fight night for y'all, but I'm going to win. I'm going to win by finish, and I'm going to get on UFC 300. And look at him now versus Bobby Green. And that is a banger of a fight as well. I've got to ask you first. We'll track back around real quick. Odds have Justin Gaethje at about a minus 200 favorite. Max at about plus 170 right now. How do you feel about that one going in?
I don't know. I would imagine two very similar styles as far as just brawling, going to stand in the pocket and exchange. So I think if that's the case, you kind of just take the guy who's bigger.
Yeah, that's probably what Vegas thinks too.
Yeah, how is there what's the path to Max winning? I don't think he's knocking Justin.
Cardio. That's the path right there. Max has some of the greatest cardio in UFC history. So you get that thing past the third round with Max Holloway, and he's still going to be the same exact guy he was in the first round. And I think there's
It's a big fight, bro. It's a big fight, bro.
There's maybe one or two guys in UFC history that have the cardio that Max Holloway does. One of them, Alex Volkanovski, maybe Cain Velasquez, cardio Cain when he wasn't at altitude. But Max is one of those rare breeds where he can just go and go and go. So I think if he survives the initial onslaught from Gaethje, if those leg kicks don't impact him too bad, I like my guy Bless here. You know I'm rocking with the Bless Express because I have to. I can't get off the train at this point. I freaking love that dude. So let's go Max, bro. I'm so fired up.
So we still don't have a main we don't have a main event yet.
I've heard Izzy versus the winner of this weekend if things go according to plan. I've heard it.
He is gonna be there, they said.
Bro, you know that Izzy, I know that he said 2 months ago that he's done. He doesn't want to come back, but you can't see all this and not want to come back. he's really going to run it. He's really going to run the show for the last 5 years and then disappear right before UFC 300.
That'd be the greatest revenge story. He's gonna get off some crazy narratives in that fight, whatever happens. He
Either
loves
way,
the storyline.
He has it written up with Dricus or Strickland.
He loves the storyline.
He's a big storyline guy. Almost a little too much for my liking. I like to let the storylines just develop naturally.
Bro, it's anime, bro. Everything's a story. Anime.
I know. He really does treat his life like an anime.
Yeah.
But
I would go crazy if Izzy on 300, baby.
You think Max Gaethje, is that the co-main over Yuri and
you gotta do the, as much as I'd want it to be, you gotta do a title. You have to.
That's not a title though. I mean, Poetan's not in the mix. I know they're bigger guys.
Wait, which one were you saying?
Sorry, Yuri Prohaska and Alexander Rakic. Because right now that's listed as the co-main. I think it's just because they're bigger guys. But there's no way you put that.
The co-main is right now. The co-main is got to be Zhang and Yao Zhanan.
Oh, dude, that's actually a really good fight too. I've been high on that Yao Zhanan girl ever since she had that nasty knockout, and I know Zhang Weili can do the damn thing. So this is one of those rare girl fights, one of those 1%ers where you want to tune in and watch.
Yeah, or just go grab your beers because the fights below that are bangers.
What do you say? Take a piss, take a shit, get some food, get some beer during the girl fight?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we'll be doing on the co-main this weekend for sure.
Yeah. Let's get into it. UFC 297 main event, Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis. 2 title fights here. Obviously, Strickland and DDP for the middleweight title of the world. Then we have Raquel Pennington and Bueno Silva for the bantamweight championship, the vacant bantamweight championship. We are in Canada. We know how much Eric loves Canada cards. Let's get into it. I know there's some fights on the prelims you wanted to break down, so take it away, brother.
Yeah. So we got one of my favorite guys. He actually has the best nickname in the whole entire UFC. We've got Charles Air Jourdain taking on Sean Woodson in a banger of the fight. This is the second to last fight on the prelims. It takes place at featherweight. Right now, Air Jourdain is a slight favorite. Let me get the odds up because I moved my papers around. Air Jourdain is at minus 200, so actually a heavy favorite. Sean Woodson plus 170. But the thing is that they're similar fighters. They're both kind of rangy guys, like to get that good timing, hit the clean strikes, clean combos, dynamic, athletic. And Sean Woodson is 6'2" at the 145-pound division, which is freakishly tall. The champion of that division, Volkanovski, is like 5'5", 5'6" for reference. So that's kind of tough.
I'm always big on Woodson, bro, just because of his length, but obviously he hasn't. I mean, he's 10-1, so
I had to watch some film on the guy for this one. I had to watch some film because I really didn't know, and I'm a big Air Jourdain fan, so I'm not just going to turn on him for no reason. And Air Jourdain sold me on the film for this one. I think he's just faster. I think he's got a better ground game. I think he has cleaner striking. He's more technical. The only thing that Woodson really has on him is the length. I feel like they're very similar fighters. Jourdain is more skilled, but Woodson's just taller and longer. But with that being said, I like Jourdain. And if you're looking for a sneaky one, I like Jourdain by submission. Because Jourdain has improved his ground game greatly in his last few fights. And in Sean Woodson's last fight, he shot for 3 takedowns. And he had never shot for a takedown before his last fight. So he might feel like his wrestling game is getting a little better, like he might be able to do this, do that, take down Air Jourdain, and next thing you know, he's stuck in a guillotine. So I am not against Charles Jourdain by submission on this one. Let me see if we got the odds up yet. I know usually on Wednesdays we don't got our sniper odds yet, but we'll definitely be putting that on the IG if it's not. Let me see. Give me a second. All right, so if you wanted to do Charles Air Jourdain by sub, you got it at plus 600. Keep that in mind. If you're desperate, if you've been losing, if you didn't listen to us, if you faded us and you've gotten your first couple fights wrong, just Fire a little Air Jourdain on submission. Put him in a
Little lunch
parlay
money.
to juice it up.
Little lunch money.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm all over Air Jourdain for this one. He's a minus 200 favorite. As I said, if you wanted it for money line, if you wanted him to win inside the distance, you could go Charles Jourdain inside the distance for plus 165. I might just do that. If my money's already up, which it will be, I'm going Charles Air Jourdain plus 165.
I like it. I like it. Good stylistic matchup there. Different styles. Big win. If Sean Woodson gets a winner, that's a really big win for him. Great opportunity for him.
Very. Yeah, this
Big
is
spot.
like one of those. That's what also kind of scares me because usually the UFC gives the guy that they want to boost up a guy that they think he can beat.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense because they're similar styles, and Sean Woodson's 6'2", and Jourdain's 5'9". So it makes sense why the UFC would think that, but I think Jourdain's just that guy. And I also don't think he's losing on his home turf because he is from Canada, and this fight is taking place in Canada. And I'm not a Canada fan, by the way, but I got the shirt out of thrift shop, and it's pretty cool. Never wear it, so I had to wear it today. But I do think there's some communists.
Yeah.
Next fight of the night, we've got one of our less liked guys in the whole UFC, I would say. Even though he is from Connor's team, he acts nothing like Connor. We've got Brad Katona taking on Garrett Armfield in the headliner of the prelims.
Yeah, Brad.
Ah, man, I'm not a Katona guy one bit. So we got Brad Katona coming in as a minus 200 favorite on this one right here. I guess it makes sense because Garrett Armfield, he hasn't done anything crazy. He's coming off of one win, but he did get subbed by David Onama in the fight before that. But with that being said, I'm going with Garrett Golden Gloves Armfield on this one. He's 27 years old. He's an up-and-comer. And I'm almost going with the logic that everyone that can make it into that bantamweight division and get a marquee fight at 27 years old has something to show. And we know that Katona, he might be a good fighter, but he's not a great fighter. He's not going to jump up into that top 10 rankings, I don't think. He's in his, let me see how old he is. He's 32 years old already. So, another thing I say like a broken record, at the small weight classes, you age a lot faster. So I wouldn't be surprised if Garrett Golden Gloves Armfield had the speed advantage, the chin advantage, just the athleticism. I think Katona is more skilled, and that's why they're putting him at minus 200. But I'm taking a stab here. I'm taking a stab at Garrett Armfield plus 165 money line.
Give me Brad, baby. Give me Brad. Let's rock.
Fair enough.
Give me Brad.
Fook Brad. All right, moving on to the main card. This opening fight might be the one that I'm second most excited for. I can't lie.
Yeah, definitely. I'll
put it up on the screen real quick. Shouts to Alfred from the Grid Network as well. He made us some fantastic graphics that y'all are about to see. We've got our own grid outside the cage, tail of the tapes. Here we go. We've got Arnold Allen versus Mosfar Evolev. I'm telling you, hey, that 17-0 looks a lot worse after that Diego Lopes fight.
Yeah, facts.
I do think Diego Lopes is a guy, but with that being said, like on a short notice camp, Evolev should have been able to put him out of there quicker than he did, or just not have it be a 50-50 fight, because Diego Lopes and Evolev was one of the fights of the year. That thing was close. Lopes almost had him out of there 3 or 4 times. And he was coming off the couch. Evolev was on a full camp. And then on the other side, we have Arnold Allen, who stood in there with Max Holloway for 5 rounds in his last fight. Definitely got outclassed. But I think that's the tough thing here. We have Evolev moving up from Diego Lopes, and we have Arnold Allen moving down from Max Holloway.
If you have a loss to Max Holloway at featherweight, does it really count as a loss?
That's not. You had to be good enough to fight him.
Yeah, I don't. It's almost
like a compliment.
Yeah, I don't know. This is tough here. The more you broke it down for me, I'm scared. I had Evolov in my parlay. Ah,
I mean, I
damn.
think Lopes. I think Lopes
I'm
is the guy too, though. So it's hard to just
yeah,
say
Lopez
Lopes
is
is one of
definitely.
those guys off the
Yeah,
couch.
yeah. I mean, stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck now. I gotta go Evolov because he's in my parlay. But I like everything you said there. Good featherweight matchup here. Really good. Really
Very
good. Really
good.
good. Really good. Really good.
Say there was a line for Arnold Allen by decision for plus 325. What would you think of that?
I'd probably take it because I think it's going the distance. All of Evolev's last 5, probably more fights have gone the distance, and Allen just went the distance. Yeah, so I don't think either one can finish. I think if Arnold wins, I don't think he can finish Evolov, and if Evolev wins, he's just going to dominate and like control the fight. He's not going to finish him. So I like that.
Yeah. And say you're in a case like you just are where oh wow, will the fight go the distance? Yes, minus 300. So I think people are in
Yeah,
agreement with you. I would say take a stab at your winner by decision here.
yeah,
Whether you have Evolev or Allen winning, I think you got to bet him by decision. Arnold Allen's a finisher, but Evolev just fights such a style to where it's just hard for either guy to finish.
yeah,
And we can't forget, dude, Arnold Allen made Dan Hooker. I love Dan Hooker, but he made Dan Hooker look like shit in that fight.
yeah.
And then Dan Hooker went out there and beat Jalen Turner.
Can't do
In
MMA
my,
math, bro. We've been over this.
I know.
You love MMA math. You can't be doing MMA math.
Yeah. I graduated from college in 1 year with a degree in piece of shit. So I'm not too great of a mathematician either way.
Yeah,
So
but
officially,
I mean, I still like Evolev here, but yeah, I would like you said, I like the stab there with the plus money and the decision. Take your winner by decision. But yeah, I like you're dialed in on that one.
thank you. I just
I
can't.
see you.
It's hard to root for a Russian. It really is.
Relax.
We're trying to get him out of here.
Relax.
Oh, most of them don't have fun fights. I will
Yeah,
say
but like
Ankalaev, though. I put money on Ankalaev, though. I was in Mammoth. Everyone else in the house was jacked up about Johnny Walker. They thought he could get the job done. And I had Ankalaev at the end of my parlay. I said, "Did y'all not watch the last fight? Are y'all stupid or what?" We
yeah,
saw how
facts.
that we saw this song already played on the guitar. We know how it's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
go. And
yeah,
yeah, I
facts.
was right.
Our
Sorry, just had
next
to throw
fight
that in.
we have Chris Curtis versus Marc-Andre Bariult. Chris
Mm.
Curtis is minus 190. Andre Bariult is plus 160 to Canadian. I we have a teletape for this one or no?
Yes, we do. My bad. I was
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I
distracted.
just don't want to ruin the graphic here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Marc-Andre Bariult 6'1" to Chris Curtis is 5'10". 3 years younger. I'm gonna take a stab here on Marc-Andre Bariult. He's won his last two. Good win over Eric Anders, and then coming off a knockout win over Julian Marquez. Chris Curtis, obviously 36 years old. Lost to Kevin Gastelum, lost to Jack Hermanson. I see him trending down, and I see Andre Bariult kind of not trending up, but he's won his last two fights. So home crowd, home guy. I'm gonna go Marc-Andre Bariult here in this one. I think I like the real value here. I like this play a lot. I'm gonna go Marc-Andre Bariult plus 160 to win.
This was damn near my play of the day. I am right there with you. Literally for all the reasons you said. I was looking at it. You look at Chris Curtis's losses. He didn't have any great losses. I know there's never a great loss, but you know what I mean. There's no one that
Yeah,
beat him where you're like, wow, that's a guy. We're not going to count that one on him. All of his losses were against people that you could beat if you're going to be a top 10 guy in that division. And Marc-Andre, like you said, he's been trending up. So I'm literally in the same exact boat as you. This was damn near my play of the day. I hate to go against Chris Curtis because I like him. I like the Eric Nixick Extreme Couture team in general, but I have to go against him here. like you said, all over Marc Andre on this one. Plus money. I don't really have a method,
Yeah.
honestly. I feel like Curtis usually is tough enough to go the distance, but he also kind of leaves himself out there once it goes bad. So he could just get finished as well.
Yeah. Our next fight, third fight from the top, we got Neal Magny versus Mike Mallot. Good one here. Good one here. An interesting matchup here.
Oh, I put the wrong one. Jeez, I don't even think that's on me. Didn't get it in there in time.
Mike Mallot, 10-1, 32 years old versus Neal Magny, 36 years old. Mike Mallot, big favorite here, minus 385. I personally think Mike Mallot does win. I don't like the number. There's nothing I like for methods. So, yes, Mike Mallot wins. I have no bet here, I believe. I don't have a bet for this one, right?
I didn't see anything. I will say, Mike Mallot, he was besides Charles Oliveira knocking out Beneil, Mike Mallot was the most exciting part of that last card in Canada. He was the one guy that I wasn't too familiar with going into that card, that I walked out of that card saying this could be a guy in that division. And I feel like they gave him kind of not like a feed him to the wolves fight here, but I don't know. We know who Magny is.
Yeah.
We know what he's there for. So I expect Mallot to get the job done. Magny is really hard to finish. But with that being said, I think Mallot's going to be going all out for the finish in front of his home crowd, knows that this is a big chance for him to get himself on the radar. So let me see what the odds are right now, because they're always changing, you know. Mike Mallot inside the distance, minus 215. God damn it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing I like there. There's nothing you really,
Maybe throw Mike in a parlay?
No, I mean, yeah, but I mean, throwing a 385 in a parlay is not really worth the reward you're really gonna get if he loses. So
hey, I've been doing the live bet college basketball blowout parlays lately. I put like one close game in there and put a bunch of blowouts, live bet, and just to boost it up a little bit. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. All right, let's get into our co-main event of the evening for the women's vacant bantamweight title. Raquel Pennington versus Mayra Bueno Silva. Bueno Silva, 32 years old. Raquel Pennington, 35 years old. Bueno Silva coming off a no contest versus Holly Holm. Up until then, she had won 3 in a row. You can argue.
Hey, we know why that no contest was, right?
Yeah.
Steroids.
You can argue not many great wins.
You could argue none.
Yeah, and then same for Pennington. I mean, but
literally, bro, I was like, how is this a title fight?
Yeah, Pennington coming off a split decision win, which, I mean, split decision, now you get a title shot. I don't know. I don't know the matchmaking here, but I just, and this is kind of just what it comes down to. I just don't see a world where 16-9, 35-year-old Raquel Pennington is the champion. It just can't be a real thing, right? Yep. But like, if you tell me like a 32-year-old, 10-2, 11-2, if she wins, Brazilian is the champ, I'd be like, all right.
It sounds a lot better.
Yeah, I just
better.
I'm all over Bueno Silva here, minus 170. All over it.
Me too.
All over it.
I almost want to go Bueno Silva by submission, because in Pennington's last loss, I'm pretty sure she lost by sub. And Bueno Silva, that's her number one way to get people out of there. So if I wanted to juice it up a little bit, you ready for my hot take on this fight? It does not involve betting at all. It involves the division. If this isn't a banger, this division's done.
Whoa.
Done. Scrapped. Just like 145. Fuck them. I can't remember the last time we saw a fun fight here. I can't. Maybe every once in a while there's a crazy one, but they're just, I don't know. I mean,
it kind of tells you all you need to know. Nunes retires, and this is your vacant title fight?
Yes. And okay, if you're the UFC, are there more girls that are athletic and could put on good fights that make 135 or that make 105 pounds. I think we've got to put in the atomweight division. If we do take out the women's bantamweight, let's throw atomweight in there. I know they're small, but like we like flyweight, we like bantamweight. They're fast, they're skilled. Women are naturally smaller. Let's put some small woman in there and have them fight. That sounds bad. That sounds weird, but
if you scrap the 35 division, I just think you just scrap the division and then there's less girl fights in general.
That's why we add 105.
But I don't want to add more girl fights. So just scrap the division and that's it.
I'm not arguing that. I'm here for it.
I'm just saying. And I like, bro, I'm a big fan of a lot of female fighters. I'm just saying, like, this is the best we can get at bantamweight. Like, what the
I don't know why they didn't throw Juliana Pena in there just for the name. You at least know that she's going to promote the fight and show up to fight and not just like put on a boring one. Because the Pena Amanda fights, those were main event worthy, both of them.
Yeah.
Both ended up being very exciting fights. But until we get another lady up there that's that entertaining, I just don't really see a reason for this bantamweight women's division existing.
Well, can we both agree to move on to the next fight here?
Of course, man. Gladly. I put, you know what I put on my notes by that one? I put Z's, like the sleeping with the dots. That's all I put.
Here we go. The main event of the evening, the reason we're here, the reason we're buying this pay-per-view, for those that buy it. Sean Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis. A lot of similarities here in the reach, a lot of similarities in the height. 2-year age difference. Sean Strickland's 2 years older. Dricus 20-2, coming off a huge win versus Robert Whittaker. Sean Strickland obviously coming off one of the biggest upsets in all time versus Israel Adesanya. First title defense here for him. Yeah, it's here. It's what it is.
Yeah, I know that. So, did you see the stat that this is the first time there's been a middleweight title fight without your guy Israel Adesanya in 5 to 6 years? I don't remember which one it was, but it was either 5 or 6.
Yeah,
that hurts, but I don't think he's going to be gone for a long time, to be honest.
When you put the graphic up, it kind of hit me. It's tough.
Damn,
my guy, bro, my guy.
Hopefully, we don't have to go through that with our guy Suge for another like 8 years.
Yeah, but anyway, this fight about as close to a pick'em as you can get. I think it'll probably end at a pick'em. I like, obviously, the way Sean Strickland beat Izzy with the pressure and kept coming. I think Dricus is the same way. That's how he beat Robert Whittaker.
Mm-hmm. We were there.
So I think we were there. So I think in this, I just think if both guys pressure, I just think Dricus has a better chance of finding the chin.
Yeah.
I like Dricus here. I like Dricus a lot here. I'm not.
No bias.
No bias. I think Dricus wins this fight. Truly do.
I was on that for. I mean, I know I picked Dricus to be my middleweight champ in a year from when we did our famous video, but now that we get closer, I just don't know, dude. Because every time Dricus has fought in his last couple of fights, I've said the same thing. He's just not that skilled. He's not that good. He's just an athletic specimen. And I heard Strickland say he was beating dead horses in his Brunson win and his Whittaker win. The Brunson one, I completely agree with. The Whittaker one, that really threw me for a loop because we all had Whittaker as our biggest lock. But Dricus just made him look like he belonged in welterweight. He just looked so much bigger and stronger. But I think Strickland, as many physical advantages Dricus has over Strickland has more skill advantages over Dricus because I think Strickland is one of the most skilled fighters in the whole UFC. He got his leg ran over by a motorcycle. He has probably the least mobility out of anybody that's not a heavyweight. And he still just finds a way to get it done with that Philly shell, that elite technique. And I think he's going to use that to just frustrate Dricus and win by decision here. So I was really going back and forth on this one too, because I agree with everything you said. I think it's going to be one of those fights where they both stand in the pocket and Dricus has the physical abilities to get it done more than Strickland does. But I think that Strickland's skill, and on top of that, I think he's at the best camp in the world right now. We've seen what Eric Nixick has done with that Extreme Couture team. We saw him get Francis ready to go box Tyson Fury, and he beat Tyson Fury. Eric Nixick is on some shit right now, just how Eugene was like a year or two ago. Shit changes fast in this sport. Nixick is the king right now of the coaches. I believe that he's going to have him a lot more ready than they're going to have Dricus ready in South Africa. I'm not saying that his gym's bad, but it's just not at the level Extreme Couture's at. Strickland was sparring with Johnny Eblin, who's the Bellator middleweight champ of the world. He was sparring with him last week just casually. They could bring in guys like that. Strickland could go, he says, I want to face some power. Let me go get Francis, call him up, have him spar a few rounds with me. I don't know. I think that gym is so elite right now, and I think Strickland is doing everything to get ready for this one. Have you seen the pictures, the side-by-side of how ripped he looks for this fight compared to the Izzy fight?
Yeah, bro. I was gonna say, I think like how before he was kind of just like, I'm just gonna spar every day. All I'm gonna do is fight. I'm not gonna train. But I think once he became the champ, he realized like I have to do these things to sustain because I think once he got the feeling of being the champ, he's like, bro, I want to sustain this. He's like, so I think he really had like a good like coming to God moment. It was like I can't keep doing what I'm doing if I want to sustain this success. So I think he's being a lot more technical. Looks like he's like in way better shape instead of just sparring for an hour and getting out of there. Like he's doing the things. And like we said, bro, like you become 70% better, 30% better, whatever it is when you become champ. So we see it now with Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards looks untouchable right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. I probably need to see it one more time, Strickland, to really believe it. But I mean, I like, yeah. I mean, it's definitely the lines is what it should be. It can go either way here.
And let's just like look in the future a little bit. Winner of this fight, does Izzy get him no matter what, or is there a chance that Hamzat weasels his way in there?
I think whoever comes out of this fight, if they come out no injuries, I think Dana White calls Izzy. Are you ready to go? If it's a yes, obviously we rock. If it's a no, I think they call Hamzat.
Dude, I like Hamza. He's a huge name, but he hasn't fought a middleweight. He hasn't fought a ranked middleweight yet. I know I asked the question if he's going to get the title shot, but now that I think about it some more, dude, he just can't. It has to be Izzy. Or even, I would put Cannonier above Hamza for the title shot.
Yeah,
I think Hamza.
I mean, that's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, because Hamzat is if you get Hamzat on 300, that boosts it a lot. And he's one of those guys that's going to be around for the next decade or half decade. So they're going to want to boost him to the casual fan because there's going to be a lot of people watching UFC 300 that don't watch all the fight nights and all the other pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Yes, sir.
You got any other? Oh shit! Let me send him real quick. Let me ask you about shit. I'm a bot. I was getting ready for this for like hours, and I just kept forgetting to do the simplest things. Like once we actually locked in. Do you think that the trash talk between Strickland and Dricus is going to play any role in the fight? Like, do you think Strickland's going to go in there kind of getting away?
95% of the times that shit doesn't matter because once we're announced to fight, I want to hurt you anyway.
True.
Like we're we're in a locked cage with millions of people watching us on TV and in the arena. So like, I already want to beat you as bad as I want to beat you. I don't think anything you could say to me is gonna make me want to beat you more. That's how I would feel personally.
Yeah, it's like if you need extra motivation to get into the right mindset, you're probably in the wrong sport in general.
Now, I think there's sometimes you can get emotional and like rush in and try to like go crazy.
Like Aldo versus McGregor.
Yeah, like that. But I mean, it was a good intention. Like he's trying to hurt him. Like, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's just like exactly though. You try to hurt him and you get away from your game plan a little bit. Strickland's very technical. He doesn't have a chin, so like, say instead of just throwing a 1-2 and then covering up, he throws a 1-2-3 and then covers up. That leaves an extra millisecond for Dricus to land that jab that took Bobby Knuckles out of there. And now that we're done with our professional stalling, we're really getting good at that shit. Here's Jalen's bets right here.
Hey, baby. We're starting it off with Marc-Andre Bariult plus 153. We're going to risk 50 to win 76. I did have a thing. I did have Mike Mallot on here. Here we go. I sub plus 110, 40 to win 44.
I like that plus money for anything Mallot. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Then, as I talked about, I'm all over Bueno Silva here. We're going to go 100 to risk 58. I'm going to go Dricus Duplessis plus 110, 50 to win 55. I like this one a lot here. Dricus Duplessis, Sean Strickland over 1.5 minus 200.
I love that.
We're going to go 100 to win 50. Our parlay, Bueno Silva minus 170. Mavsar Evolev minus 200. DDP and Strickland over 1.5 minus 200, baby. Where it's going to come in at 50 to win 128. Let's go.
Bro, I like that. You triple your money, but safely.
Yeah, try to.
Hell yeah. All right. I really got to piss. So I think it's our time to get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Until next week, we'll be talking this Saturday, posting stuff up, posting up some more bets, everything. Doses.